everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Take us course to continue the journey of Ben 10 Omniverse. This is Season 3, Episode 4. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode, it is fair to say, is one of the craziest episodes I've seen so far of Omniverse alone, because we went to an alternate dimension, another Earth, if you will, and we got to meet a new Ben, another Ben. But he wasn't Ben 10, he was Ben 23, and his main color scheme was not green, it was blue. And he looked different hairstyle, different outfit and everything, different looking kind of Omnitrix. And people were pointing out that it was basically a parody of Justin Bieber. I really didn't catch on to that until someone commented that. I'm like, okay, that's fair. That's fair to say. And we got to see different versions and different names, like in terms of like looks, of aliens that Ben 23 could turn into, as well as, of course, our Ben. And he was basically showing him how he needs to basically be, because Ben 23 is more of a marketing kind of guy than Ben 10 actually is. And it turns out that azimuth on his Earth, Ben 23's Earth, was basically trying to stop him because he got the Omnitrix and he was never meant to, because it was supposed to go to Grandpa Max exactly how Ben 10's world was. So it's crazy to see the differences from both Ben 10 and Ben 23's Earth, but the similarities. Both had an azimuth, both Omnitrix were supposed to go to Max instead of him. It's very interesting. No mention of Gwen on Ben 23's Earth and all that, but it was crazy nonetheless. And I love the fact that Ben 23 is learning some hard lessons way later into his basically being a hero, because even though Ben 10, he's still like, our Ben is still learning stuff, like, at least as Ben 23, he's starting to realize, oh, not all aliens are bad. Like, he was under this impression the whole entire time. Every single alien he ever runs into is a bad alien. He just assumed that. So it was a crazy, trippy episode, but I really enjoyed it. And I cannot wait to see what happens next. I'm curious to know what's going to happen next. So without further ado, let's get into now, guys. Let's check it out. Let's go.
We've been evacuating this prison for a week. Last convoy is leaving now.
You of all people should know that we can't trust your guest around anybody else.
He has been quite resourceful.
Everything will be automated, down to the food synthesizers. He'll be in total solitary confinement.
Believe me, Vilgax, I don't like it anymore.
I was like, is that Vilgax? I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but
Once I am free.
Vilgax, yeah. Okay, I didn't want to jump to conclusions. I'm like, that has to be Vilgax, but I didn't want to say anything until it was confirmed. Okay, Vilgax. Okay, it doesn't feel like there's really any build-up. It was just like, oh, Vilgax is here, and he's like, okay.
You're in trouble.
Must croak. Vilgax must croak.
No sweat.
All hail Lord Emperor Million,
Really?
Light of the Incursion Empire, Destroyer of...
Are they gonna bring Vilgax out?
By getting rid of Vilgax, which is why you sent me to Incarsicon.
She seems so bored doing it.
667788. You heard the man. Bring me the head of Vilgax.
667788. Oh, they're just gonna fire. Okay. Damn. Okay, well, at least I didn't explode the ship.
Now we all have to get off this ship. Vilgax included.
I'm free.
I mean, I'm not really free. Exactly.
Not.
Okay. Good choice. Alright.
Now everybody hold your breath.
Of course he was gonna fight. Oh, the Wilhelm scream, really?
I am tired of you.
I'm tired of you.
I had nothing to do with that attack.
Yeah,
Sure.
right.
Well, I mean, he
Another
actually didn't this
tactical.
time, but yeah.
Look,
Not buying it, Vilgax.
It's not buying
Took
it.
a chance that
But
you'd make it out alive and we wouldn't.
I thought the bounty hunters were just gonna do this for her. Oh.
This is all working out just like you planned, isn't it?
He didn't plan it.
You don't care who gets hurt, you rotten.
Hey, shrimp toast.
You're a shrimp
I
toast.
do not believe that they are trying to free Vilgax.
They're just firing nonsense.
If a guy kisses you, do you change into a princess?
I am a princess.
Not even really aiming, just firing. Damn. Goodbye. Just run his ass over.
Oh, ribbit.
Show's over.
Show's over. Some funny moments for sure so far. Getting ran over.
I want to make sure you spend the rest of your life
Surprised
nice
they're
and safe and
walking
locked
together.
away.
Got some reminiscing here.
This is the thanks I get.
Oh, except for that time I kicked you out into space. And that other time I kicked you out into space. And in that arena. Oh, and when you got blown up in the ocean.
You've never truly defeated me because
That's the
you
pattern,
don't
yeah.
have the guts. Do you think the incursions will be satisfied once they're rid of me and they've conquered my home world?
They're just there. Oh, always grabbing that guy. Ah, yep. These bounty hunters are kind of useless a little bit. This dude. Who is this guy exactly? Yeah, of course the other one's going to be there.
Shut off the manacles. We can fight them
No, he
together.
won't do that. Of course. Ben.
I've got a score to settle with
Ben should have thought
Tennyson.
that through. He should not have done that.
Ow, ow, okay, not friendly. Got that.
Not friendly.
This is 8/8.
Look, Atea, you don't like Vilgax. I don't like Vilgax.
Exactly.
Can't
Let's
we
work
something out?
together. Terra spin.
Who said anything about running?
Exactly. Gonna spin some wind on you. And he's flying away. Okay, they're right down there too.
Gee, that was close.
What are you going to do? Hand
Well,
me over to that
No, he's not gonna
arrogant
hand you over.
incursion?
No.
Like you said, tempting. You four are in big trouble.
Are they?
Who do you think you're talking to?
You're out. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I
Easy.
will now swing us to safety.
This guy, I don't know what is up with him just continuously getting into shit like this.
Amateurs.
Don't have an episode, Atea. You can hug it out after you're all in the clink.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what came over me.
That was the most glorious act of heroism I've...
Wrath, give me wrath, please.
Give me wrath.
Grav attack?
Not wrath, but good.
Hit the dirt!
We haven't seen this alien in a while.
Gravity powered mine for the...
Oh, we've seen it before, right? Yeah, I think so. There you go. Damn. Uh-oh.
Vilgax, first you saved me and then I saved you.
Well, look at it like this.
He's gone.
Rook got through to us, and you didn't lose any members of your team.
Yeah. Okay. And there you guys have it. And yes, the return of Vilgax, and of course, another redesign of the character. Well, not like an overly, like over the top redesign, but enough of a change for him to look a little bit different. I want to talk about a couple things about this episode that I think worked, and some things that I felt like was just kind of distracting and kind of bogging down the episode. Overall, I had a solid time with it because of Vilgax seeing him back, and them actually talking at one point, Vilgax and Ben, about the fact that he was the reason why Ben even has the Omnitrix. But regardless of all that, yeah, Ben's like, well, look, yeah, that's true, but I kicked your butt. This time I kicked you out into space. This time. And it was like, and then Vilgax says, well, okay, fair point, but the pattern is you've never truly beat me because you can't, because you choose not to. Like, you can't actually beat me, defeat me. And of course, Vilgax is run away again. Princess Atea is back in this episode with 6-6, 7-7, and 8-8, which I don't believe we've met 7-7 or 8-8 in the Ben 10 continuity, the Ben 10 universe. We've only seen the Bounty Hunter 6-6, so it's interesting to see two more of, like, basically relation to him, but they're kind of useless in the episode. Like, they really don't do too much. They're just another set of hands that are firing guns, firing, blasters. Like, that's all they're really doing. They're not really doing anything, like, really impactful for the episode. Like, yeah, of course, we had 6-6 and 7-7 following Rook and the rest of them, the plumbers, but they really didn't do too much. Like, you saw how easily they were able to be manipulated or defeated. Like, it was just pretty simple stuff there. So they really didn't do that much in terms of an impact. But at least it was cool to see some new bounty hunters, even though they didn't do anything of consequence. The main takeaway from this episode is two things. One, the return of Vilgax, and having him and Ben have some dialogue back and forth, and of course he has now escaped, so pretty much leading in and implying we're going to see more of him down the road. And the other thing, which I think bogs down the episode a little bit, is Hobble, which is also voiced by Steve Bloom, because I actually have the voice cast pulled up here from the episode credits. Hobble, a character I don't think we've ever met before, but they were really playing him up as kind of like a very needy character and always getting into trouble or always getting hurt, and everything's always happening to him. I just feel like it was taking away from the overall narrative. And I think Princess Ataya, or whatever her name is, I think that's her name, was also taking away a little bit from the episode as well, in terms of her being sent to go take out Vilgax, because there was that sequence when they get on to the actual like big prison ship or whatever, and they're all standing in a line just firing blasters, and they're just kind of aiming straight, and you see some, you know, blast or whatever getting hit on the walls near them where they're kind of like hidden away. It just felt like they were just kind of just firing just to keep the intensity up and the stakes, but they really weren't actually aiming at them. They were just kind of like just firing, because at one point they're like firing straight ahead. There's nobody standing out in the middle of the hallway. They're just firing in that direction. It's just like, all right. I think they could have maybe changed a couple of things to make it feel more like stakes were actually in play here, or in terms of like, you know, things actually could occur here. I figured as much that Vilgax was going to escape. Either that, or he truly was going to go to prison or be transported to a place, but we would still like imply like we'll see more of his character. Vilgax has always been around, and I'm actually surprised they actually waited this long until season 3 of the show, in terms of the production order, not the airing order, but the production order, to bring the character back, because it's been a bit. He's always played some sort of role within each show, and I figured, even though I really didn't think about it too much, but when he popped up, I'm like, okay, you know what? This makes sense. Surprised he waited this long, but I also give a round of applause to the show Omniverse here for having us basically follow along a brand new character, Rook, even though I do miss Kevin and Gwen. We got introduced to new villains who have never been introduced or ever been shown before as kind of the starting focus of Omniverse, and now we're getting to a classic villain who is the villain of all villains of the entire show. Even though he really didn't do much in this episode besides being captured and being basically walked around with Ben, but it's the history between these two characters, right? I'm not the biggest fan of like the redesign. Then again, I've always preferred the classic, like original Ben 10 Vilgax. The redesign in Alien Force Alien Force Ultimate Alien, it's okay. It's still Vilgax, but it's just a little bit of a different Vilgax. And they, of course, changes look once again. Not the biggest fan, but it's the history of the character that keeps me invested with him. And I do like the back and forth, as I mentioned, where they're talking about how I was the reason why I even got the Omnitrix. I'm the reason why. I'm like, yeah, but I kick your butt so many different times. Yeah, but you actually never defeated me. Like, that's the real point of all this. We've had so many fights, and yeah, I've lost, because Vilgax has actually lost. But his thinking is, yeah, I've lost, but you don't actually really beat me. You keep thinking you have. I never die. I keep coming back. I don't know if that means we're actually going to kill Vilgax. I don't think we're ever going to do that. Because apparently at one point in Ultimate Alien, that was the plan. Initially was to take out Vilgax and he was done. He was done. But then they changed it, or there was some sort of note, and they didn't kill Vilgax, and now he's still around. But their original intention was, at one point, Vilgax was not going to come back. This was it. But it makes it more interesting that at least he's here, at least in my view. I wonder what the show would be like in terms of the continuity of the shows if he actually was taken out earlier before this appearance. What would that have done to Ben? Because Ben would have killed him. What would that have done to his character? Don't know. But we have this moment back and forth where he's like, yeah, you've never actually beaten me, though. And it makes you think, this is true. Ben has defeated some villains. He has done some things that is permanent. But the one being, the one entity, that is the reason why he even has the Omnitrix in the first place, because the way he was actually following freaking Xylene, now he has the Omnitrix, it's because of him. However, he's not been able to actually stop him. The one, I think I think he saw where he was trying to take the watch still from Ben when he was knocked out. Why did he even save Ben's life? Like, that's also fascinating too. Why did he save Ben's life exactly in that moment? Why did he stop that blast? Which was insane, by the way. Don't know. So overall, it was a fun episode. some things I wish they would have done differently. I think the Hobble character, I think they could have easily just not had that character at all included. I get the humor of it, or just kind of the silliness of it, but at the same time, was he needed? Not really. They're really pushing heavily on Princess Ataya, or whatever her name is. They're really pushing her and her father, who have been very minor characters in the continuity, in the kind of storylines of Ben 10 throughout the years, at least when I've been watching the shows. But it seems like they're getting more of a focus now, so I'm guessing we're finally going to be focusing on them more, which we'll see what happens. I've not really been a fan of either of their characters, so we'll see how they handle that, because it may be one of those things where if I don't really get on board, I'm going to be kind of critical. But anyways, what do you guys think of the episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you have, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.